Hey, what is up, people of the internet? Welcome back to GSTalks. I know it's been a while since the last podcast, since before the new year with me and Ben. We had a cool podcast on that. Today, we are back in full force with the whole gang. It is me, Scott, Justin, and Sam for one of the podcasts that we did previous to the year. We talk about the best and worst of 2017. Now, it could be about, favorite movies of that year, books, music, TV shows. We mostly talk about that. And this is actually part 1 of 2. So part 2 will come out next Monday, next week. So look forward to that. So we also talk about Holmes University, the process of how Doctor Who is going, and more stuff like that. So, hey, kick back, relax, have some popcorn, chicken wings, quesadillas, whatever. Enjoy the show. Here we go. What is up, people of the internet? Welcome back to GS Talks. Hey, everyone, how you guys doing today?
Good. Not too bad.
That was very mellow, guys.
Actually,
amp it up. Amp it up. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, buddy.
America. GS is the show you're watching. Be sure to like, subscribe to GSTV Studios, and might as well plug your stuff. Meteor Fist Films and Scott's Thoughts. How's it going?
Scott's Thoughts. If you want to hear my thoughts on stuff, then you go to Scott's Thoughts. Yeah, well,
no.
Well, 346 people do. Okay.
Oh, boo.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, we're welcoming Scott, Justin, and Sam returns.
Hola.
All right.
Hola.
Justin, you and I are working on Holmes University 5.
Sure. We're working on it.
There's a fly in here.
There's a fly in here.
There is a fly in here.
Anyways, yeah, we're working on it. It's taking some time, but
We've run into some complications, but we are working on it for you.
For you. And Sam, Doctor Who is looking pretty good.
Doctor Who. Yeah. She's helping with an episode that this kid here wrote.
I did write
for Doctor Who. Shattered Time.
I wrote something. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Good for you.
Also, Sam, I wanted
You don't have to be so condescending about it. I have feelings. Jesus.
I wanted to plug your Instagram. What was it again?
Kick him cosplay. So
That's right. I haven't spelled that here, but I can't
KYCKE.
pronounce it, so.
Yeah.
I'll put it up on the thingamabobby. Anyways, so
He's real technical, y'all.
technical and ethical.
Savvy.
No.
Yeah.
Savvy. Yeah, let's go with savvy. All right, so hey everyone, Justin and Sam.
Yes.
It's a brand new year.
Yes.
You guys had a great holiday.
Yes.
Wasn't bad. My brother got engaged, so we
Hey,
met. We
congrats.
hung out with some of the soon-to-be in-laws, and we had a good time, just eating, hanging out, and exchanging gifts and stuff. It was a good time.
Right on.
Fun.
And your holiday, Sam?
It was kind of craziness. We got snowed in. It was 11 of us.
Nice.
Yeah. There's nothing quite like having small screaming children at 6 o'clock in the morning, not understanding why they can't leave.
Boo.
Yeah.
Boo to the children.
And we already know about your holidays, but might as well just recap real quick.
Yep, I got into a car accident on Christmas Eve. It was so fun. I was going
like a
down a
hoot.
hill because we were at my grandmother's house when it started snowing, and
Oh my
she's
gosh.
on top of Wilderness Rim.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Is this in North Bend?
Yep.
no-
Oh, wow.
So you know the place.
Yeah, I know exactly where that is. It's the middle of nowhere, y'all.
I had to go down this hill and everything and started sliding, lost control of the car, and a Hummer was going up the hill. We both lost control, and it was,
Oh my gosh.
It was an interesting Christmas Eve, to say the least. I went home, had a glass of wine, and went to bed.
There you go.
I was like, Christmas is not meant for me today.
Right. And I
Solve
hope,
all the problems.
yeah, exactly. Right. I hope everyone else also had a great New Year's Eve, New Year
What?
celebration.
Honestly, I don't remember what I did New Year's.
See, that's a good New
I don't
Year's.
really do
No,
anything on New
actually,
Year's.
oh God, that was okay. Never mind. I remembered. I don't want to talk about it.
I had a good one. We all had a good. Let's just say we all had a good. New
I don't really
Year's.
do New Year's.
Sure.
Yeah. It was the end of the year.
End of the year,
Beginning of
2017.
the new.
How would you sum up 2017 in one word? Let's go down the line. Scott.
Different.
Easy. Justin.
Befuddled.
Befuddled. I'm gonna write that down. I like that word. Befuddled.
Yeah, that's a good word. It's a good word.
Sam.
I would say challenging.
That's a good. Word.
That's a good one. That's a good.
I
one.
would honestly say I'm kind of agree with you. I would say different, but I'm gonna be different. Funny. And say bewildered. I was bewildered. by
Bewildered.
2017. What do
He
you-
was bewildered.
Someone
All
signed
these
in.
people with these big words.
I went to school.
Quarter words. Quarter words.
That's Sean Moran. from Holmes
Lugubrious.
University. Hi, Sean Moran from Holmes University.
Hey, Sean.
He's. Yep. Anyways. So what were you doing? Host. Host us. Host.
Host us, host.
So
I need to read that.
The drinks are down
Drinks are down there.
And here's the bottle opener.
That's not a bottle. That's a flashlight.
I was trying to grab the bottle opener. It was behind the flashlight. Punk.
So does anyone? I'm not really a big believer in it, but does anyone have any New Year's resolutions?
Nope.
Sam.
So you go ahead if you got something to say.
I write New Year's resolutions every year, and they're always like a page and a half long. Like,
How many do you usually accomplish?
it's not about accomplishing them. It's about like fighting for something. Like having,
Okay.
it's kind of like if you take a boat out, like a giant, ship, right? If you're gonna
Yep.
take the Black Pearl out, you don't just go and go, you know what? I'm just gonna go wherever the wind takes me. You go, okay, I want to go find some treasure.
Okay.
So
dig
that's
it.
kind of my. Oh, I go to New Year's resolutions, so I have a goal, a trajectory.
Okay.
Gotcha. That's
That's
cool.
cool.
That's actually
Makes
really
sense.
Cool. Yeah, I know you don't have one.
I don't do it because I'm like committed for like a week and then I'd fall through. So I'm one of those people, and I don't want to be one of those people.
I've been that person a couple times, and
Like that whole time that I did my New Year's resolution every year for like 6 years that Demo Dawn would get done, and that never happened until like 9 years later.
pretty much close to it.
So I'm like, I'm just not meant for New Year's
We always talk
resolutions.
about Demon Dawn. We don't have to.
I love Demo
I know
Dawn.
you do, but-
I haven't had a Demo
You're
Dawn
the only
party
one
in a
that
while.
does, bro.
I know I'm the only one who loves Demo
I
Dawn.
enjoy it for the just the silliness of it.
Dude, I actually legitimately like teared up when I actually finished it because I was like, this legacy of being made fun of for it not being done is over.
Yeah, that's true because passion is what you basically.
And just the long project of the love towards it I
Passion,
poured into it. I
passion.
poured my heart
It was
into
a passion
that.
project, and that's kind of one of today's themes that we'll get into a little bit later. But first, before we do that, we're going back to the year 2017, and we're
All
gonna
the
talk
way
about-
back.
We're all the way back, and talk about
So
basically
long ago.
the best.
I remember it fondly.
The best things and the worst things about 2017. It could be about movies, books, games, music. As Justin said earlier, all the music of 2017 basically sucked.
Well, I have.
Okay, he's talking about strictly hip hop.
Okay, because I'm a big hip hop head, and the fact with coming in of like mumble rap is really irritating because I would be what would be considered an old head, and I actually like lyrics to be thought about before you put them to a beat. Because all the mumble rappers, they sound the same. They do the same cadence, and they always say "yeah" in between each bar, and it's just
Give me an example.
I can't give you a strict example.
Panda. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. There you go.
That
Yeah.
was the song I first thought of when you said that. So.
That's pretty accurate to everything else. Only they try to add more words to make them sound
Yeah.
more sophisticated
You
and
don't
stuff.
like that cake.
Shut up, Chris. No, it's just it's gotten to the point
Too
where
soon.
well, I don't mind that mobile rap exists, fine, whatever. But people are accepting it as real hip hop and like, oh, that's what hip hop is. No, it's not. It's just they should be in a separate category of hip hop, and they can be free to do whatever they want, and let people who actually put thought into their rhymes, because it's hard. It's not like, oh, no, it's difficult to like write your stuff down and to rewrite and be like, oh, that doesn't work. I got something better. To come up with, like metaphors and everything else. So it's just like, and then they just come here and just, yeah, it's just, you come up with that all by yourself, boo boo.
Okay, calm down.
I am calm.
Okay, let's
Justin's like, I am calm.
Trust me, if I wasn't calm, I'd be throwing stuff
let's
right now.
categorize this. That was music because I don't think any of us. Well, do you have anything on music that you liked or didn't like?
I have some things on music.
Actually, this year for I'd say alternative music, it was a great year for. We had so many artists just kind of pop out that just were phenomenal, that brought something new to the table.
Right.
Imagine Dragons came out with an amazing album, and there's
That was a
couple
good
other-
album.
Yeah, like Thunder was an amazing song, but there's so many alternative artists that just came out and just showed up.
I'm going to sound really lame, but I got really hyped because Demi Lovato's
Yep,
CD,
that was-
Tell Me You Love Me, was spectacular. And hearing, her track alone, Tell Me You Love Me, was like on par with people like Aretha Franklin and stuff.
Love me.
Holy crap. No, that was
I know,
not.
it's good.
But like, her song Tell Me You Love Me is straight up on par with like the greats.
I don't
And
know that I've heard that one.
I
you
cannot
should.
say that I have
It's
either.
I don't listen to radio,
spectacular.
so I don't-
The music video will make you mad because it's just so cringeworthy. Because it's like everything stereotypical we hate in the music video. But if you listen to just the song, you're like, oh, this song is great. it's ultimately from what I gather about a person. They know they want to be married, but they're not quite there yet, and so it's kind of like,
That's deep.
will somebody make the commitment already? They're on that like fringe point, and it's a spectacular song. And Demi's voice she explodes with power with it, and I can't believe I'm the guy here going like, everyone's like, all right, rap, we got alternative, and I'm like, Demi Lovato had this amazing CD.
Everyone's got their own thing, bro.
True, I got my thing.
I'm just a hip hop head. That's all.
And if we really want to go there, my other thing that Chris is going to hate, which, yes, we all have our own thing, Michael Bolton's CD, Songs of Cinema, is amazing. If you love movie music, then he really echoes his voice.
Isn't did that have like that Jack Sparrow song on there? Because
Yes,
I heard
it
that.
does.
That Jack Sparrow song is actually really amazing.
It has that Jack Sparrow
It's
ballad.
actually
It's
really
so
amazing.
awesome. But yeah, no, Demi Lovato's CD and Michael Bolton's CD for me really echoed through the year.
You know, you really just tilted me. Like I lost my train of thought with my artist.
Do you want me to go with the fact that I love the album Nickelback,
No,
Feed the Machine?
No, we're
No,
not
no,
talking
okay.
about that. That's
Sorry.
banned.
Sorry,
Stop it.
I know certain people. I like some Nickelback songs here and there, but as a group, I kind of don't like them at all.
Silver Side Up was a good album.
Feed the
I'm
Machine
done.
is a good album. Their
Anyways,
song's Song
let me
on
move to
Fire.
me. We'll go back. We'll
right.
start with best. We'll go to worst. And I guess we'll just go down the line of categories. But for me, and you know that I like country for the most part.
Yep, I love country too.
I don't know if you knew, I actually really do enjoy country a lot. I liked Blake Shelton's newest album that he put out.
That's a good one.
Texhoma River, I think it was called. Texhoma
I think
River.
so.
Anyways, and it was just awesome.
Yeah, I
And-
love Blake Shelton.
Yeah, I think he's one of the exceptions because there was a while there where I hated pop country because it sounded basically.
Oh, you mean like until like 20 minutes ago? Because you post on Facebook all the time about how Florida Georgia Line is the devil.
When's the last time I posted anything like that?
I think like a week or two
No,
ago.
I haven't posted anything on.
Okay, ladies.
Now,
Girlfriend.
now, children. The nut cake for everybody.
Anyways, that's one of my favorites. And
I love
guess
Florida
we kind of
Georgia
went down the line. Well, you didn't really name anything that you liked, music-wise. One song. One song.
Give me one, Justin.
Come back to me on that. I gotta think about
Okay,
it.
we'll move on to movies. Best movies of 2017.
Blade Runner 2049.
Blade Runner 2049.
Sam.
I would have to say The Greatest Showman.
I haven't seen that yet,
I've
but it looks
heard
really good. I've
Great
heard good things.
I haven't seen it yet either.
I have. Oh no, you go ahead, Sam.
So for me, it redeemed musicals of our generation. Like for so long, our musicals have been auto-tune and crap.
And High School Musical.
Right.
Like
and
Les
so-
Mis.
Les
Les
Miserables.
Mis, Les Mis was good, but it was a completely different category. Like
Right.
Les Mis is it's more of an experience than it is to me a traditional musical.
I hear you. Yeah.
But this one, it was a musical. Like I could see it translating really well to like a Broadway, but it's made for movies, and that to me was awesome. That we will have in our generation. Oh yeah, musical will be The Greatest Showman, I think.
I also have to give a shout out to The Disaster Artist, which I just did my top
Haven't
10
seen-
movies
haven't
of the
seen
year.
it.
It's
Disaster Artist made my number one spot because of the fact that for all of us, Sam now has been a part of our productions and everything. Sam understands that there's a lot of times that conventionally anyone in the industry would realistically say, you shouldn't be making short films. You shouldn't be doing this because you don't have $1 million budget to do this. You don't have that. And I'm saying, like, I had film teachers. The reason why Holmes University got made was because film teachers told me I couldn't do it and I shouldn't be allowed to do it.
Sure showed that.
And I said, no, F you, son. I'm going to do it. So I did. And so realistically, like Doctor Who Shattered Time, which Samantha is so graciously and wonderfully a companion on, realistically, I shouldn't be making that. Like everyone in the industry would be telling me no. And I've had people in the industry tell me no. But in reality, I say no, I'm going to do it because I want to do it. And that's what The Disaster Artist is about. And it's inspirational as hell because of that. And I love The Disaster Artist because Tommy Wiseau is such an outcast and he's so out there that he said, no, I'm going to make my own movie because you guys won't let me be in your movies. So screw you, I'm going to do it. And it's just very inspirational. I actually had a tear in my eye while I watched it because I was like, I'm watching myself. Just a less weird version of myself.
I did enjoy the Disaster Artist, and I totally feel you on that, especially because me and Scott, for those that don't know, went to the Art Institute together, so I totally understand where he's coming from. But my favorite movie of 2017 was definitely Blade Runner 2049. Show the shirt, Scott.
Blade Runner 2049 represent.
He's got the shirt.
Blade Runner 2049.
And it's because you see the original Blade Runner, and that for film buffs, it's such a classic. And
Which
then
cut you talking about?
The whole thing, because people argue which cut's better. Is Deckard a replicant? He's not a replicant. Doesn't matter. And then you make a sequel, such a long-awaited sequel, you have reservations about that kind of stuff, because we've had, sequels come out, and they're like, they probably would have been better off if they didn't make it. This is not one of those sequels. It is something that they took the ideas of the original and they expanded on it, and they went full board with it, and they kept the great cinematography and the sound and the acting. Everything about it was just so good. Granted, the movie's 3 hours. It is a long movie, but they put so much time and effort into this movie, and it's just like, as someone who enjoys the process of making film, it was just amazing to watch.
If they were to release the 5-hour director's cut, I would.
There's a 5 hours director's cut.
Yeah, they cut 2 hours out of that movie.
I think that just proves how good, great and good, yeah,
good
of an understanding of people's attention spans, because there's, especially with a movie that's so intensive like Blade Runner. Wow, I am just butchering my words all over the place.
We got some water if you want some water too behind you.
Thanks. Yeah, apparently I've been drinking, but I'm not allowed to drink on my workout fitness program right now, so that's. But with Blade Runner, there's so much. Yeah.
I'm sorry, that was funny. Continue.
There's so much context whenever you world build that is missed out on. I watched Valerian. It was a terrible movie.
I haven't seen it, but I heard horrible things.
But the thing is that the world that they built was amazing. There's so many aspects of it, as coming from the creative side, coming from the backside of the film industry, as a production staff, you see so much of what they put into it, and you're amazed by it. But so I could totally see with Blade Runner that whole world that they built having a 10-hour cut, because they built an amazing world. Well,
and the Blu-ray, the special features, they actually built prologue short films ahead of time to kind of build the world further. So there's actually half an hour, 45 minutes of extra world building short films that they did, and it's amazing, the world, but like you said, where it's amazing how runtime slowly does not matter when the world that they're building is so rich.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's one thing I have to say about Blade Runner 2049 is the world they build is so amazing. And I'm going to, dare I say it on camera, Blade Runner 2049 is better than the original Blade Runner in every sense of the word.
That is a bold statement, but I'm gonna have to agree on that.
Yeah, well, let's move on from Blade Runner, because we spent the last.
I am not done with Blade Runner. Damn you!
You're never done with Blade Runner.
But Blade Runner 2049, just the philosophical ideas they put, the world that they built further. You know what? I would love to wait another 20, 30 years for another Blade Runner to see where we're at and where this world goes in that time. And it's the world is just so fascinating.
Like Blade Runner 2079 or something.
Yeah, I'm not done with it, but at the same time, I'd love to wait for one. I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but I love the world building.
So either movies, so I can't. I have no opinion.
Do it.
If you love world building, worlds that feel real to you, Blade Runner is one of the most.
I want to watch it, but I still don't know which cut to watch.
Blade Runner, the final cut, and then Blade Runner 2049.
Okay.
There you go.
There we go. We're about to, in about 2 minutes here, run to our first commercial break. But before we get to that, let's just address it. Go down the line, no interrupting. Give you 30 seconds. Scott, what'd you think of the new Star Wars?
I hated it. I thought okay. From someone who doesn't like Star Wars, I hated it. From a Star Wars fan perspective, I feel like it's one of the weaker installments because there's so much inconsistency, and I feel like it got too pretentious for its own good.
Justin?
I actually liked it. I very much enjoyed it. Watching The Force Awakens, it reminded me of the nostalgia I felt when I used to watch Star Wars as a kid. But when I watched Last Jedi, I felt like I was watching Star Wars for the first time.
Really?
And it was just a fun experience for me. I know a lot of people don't feel that way, but that's just how I feel about it.
Sam?
I loved it. I thought that they finished the franchise well, and I feel like yeah, there were some stuff in there that was definitely like political and stuff, but I think that what they did is they put a product that was consistent with what they were going for.
And Star Wars really needs to try and stay out of their political intrigue because they think we care about the politics of like Tatooine, and we really don't.
Let me get my 2 cents because I've kind of told you both.
Well, I saw it with you.
Yeah, that's the thing. Me and Scott went to go see it, and I had to see it second time just to, get my overall thoughts. The first time around, I hated it.
Yeah.
I hated it.
I know
I couldn't stand it, and I love Star Wars, but the second time around, I accepted what the movie was, and I enjoyed it the second time around. Because, from Force Awakens, they gave you a lot of questions that you want answered, and none of those questions were answered in the Last Jedi. Let me finish.
Okay.
But that doesn't bother me anymore because I'm kind of not invested in it anymore, so whatever. But also...
After the initial shock.
Yeah, exactly. Let me finish. And I really didn't agree with a lot of the stuff they did in the film. Like, all the characters I was interested in, they just killed off. Like, the cool A-Wing pilot at the very beginning, the woman one.
Spoilers.
Sorry. That's the first 5 minutes of the film. It's not really a spoiler.
Spoilers.
Whatever.
Spoilers.
They do. And the coolest character I thought was the hacker dude, who played by...
Benicio del
The
Toro.
guy, yeah.
And I wanted to get to know him better, but then he's off, gone, and...
We'll see him again, I'm sure.
we will. Everything that was done
Shut up, Scott.
on the rich planet, I forget what, basically Monte Carlo, the planet,
I can't remember.
casino planet.
Now that you say, I
with
can't
the
remember.
horses. Anyways, I thought they should have cut that out. At least like 90% of
All
that
of it?
segment. 90% of it they should have cut out.
It was
dragged.
it was a long walk for a drink of water.
But anyways, that's my 2 thoughts.
I just have to say, though, that almost feels like a desperate fan answer, though, where you're like, I didn't like it, and then I watched it again and told myself I was gonna like it.
No,
Because
I was-
how I
I
feel
got you.
you're saying it, though.
Wait, we weren't going to interrupt. That's Chris's answer.
That is Chris's answer. But to talk, Scott, the first time I saw Captain America, the first Avenger, I didn't like it, but I enjoyed it a lot the second time around.
Exactly.
And sometimes you have a different perspective
That's how I feel.
when you change.
when I know I'm not going to enjoy the movie from what I thought my imagination was going to be like.
I've never had that,
Well,
ever.
you're-
that's happened to me, sir. So
It's
I was
just-
going to say the closest
it's
I've
not a
ever come is
fanboy- It's
Looper.
not a fanboy thing. As far as it goes, episode 2 is still like the worst.
Of course.
oh
Yeah,
God,
Rogue
yes.
One
But
or the
I love Rogue One.
Okay, no, I was trying to figure
I
out.
was going
what
to say
you-
Clone-
Rogue One and
Attack of the
Episode 2 are the
Clones.
worst.
Episode 2 was the worst, and then whatever else lies. Empire and New Hope still ties for the first one, in my opinion. Then Return of the Jedi, then Episode 3, which I do like a lot actually.
3 wasn't bad.
And then A Force Awakens, and then The Last Jedi, and then Episode 2. Actually, I like Episode 1's up there. I'm sorry, Episode 1 I do enjoy.
So you'd still rank it in your bottom tier?
Yeah, it's definitely my bottom tier, The Last Jedi,
Okay.
because it doesn't feel like a Star Wars film to me.
It's not.
It doesn't feel like a Star.
They're gonna recorrect the canon anyway.
Let's continue on because we could talk about this all day.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is very true. All right, so we're going to take our first commercial break. We'll be right back after this, everyone. Stay tuned.
Peace.
Alright, top 5 places not to take your date on first date. First date. I don't know.
Parents' house?
Oh gosh, dang. You're never taking first date to your parents' house. Please, people. Come on. Come on. Number 4, mall just by yourselves.
Oh, yeah. For first date, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, I gotta have some people going to the mall, man.
Yep. Same thing like going to the movie too. You go
Number 3.
Okay.
We're going on a hike for your first date.
That's bad.
I don't know, man. Seriously? You're trying to impress her too much for the first time.
Okay, I understand that.
Can you see that? Can you see that? Can you see that? Okay. Okay, you're not okay. My bad. A wrestling match. That would be terrible. It's very random, I know, but who would seriously take someone to a wrestling match on the first date?
Not me, that's for sure.
Exactly, Chris.
Can I suggest in the
You
morning?
can suggest it.
Taking her, going for a drive, I guess, for some bird watching.
Bird watching.
Bird watching.
Are you a peeping Tom?
No, do you understand what I mean by bird watching?
No. Oh! cruising for your first date. That's the stupidest thing. Especially if you're expecting a little love. Because it's not gonna happen, man.
People there, welcome back to GSTalks. The song you're listening to is Walk on Water by House the Great. Check them out on YouTube. It's a good Sonic 3 cover. Anyways, we were talking about the best movies of 2017. Now we're going to go transfer that into the worst movies of 2017. But let's, before we get to going, again, we're here with Scott, Justin, and Sam.
Yo.
Scott's Thoughts, that's the new channel.
Scott's Thoughts. Yep.
And formerly in Picture 7 Reviews. And also Meteor Fist Films, Doctor Who, Holmes University, some other side projects we can't talk about yet.
Not yet.
Dun dun dun.
Stays a secret, y'all.
Dun dun dun. Everyone here knows, but
you don't know.
Audience can't know
Do
yet.
you? Do you?
You don't know.
Do you? Okay. We're all over the place. And again, Sam, Instagram, if you want to plug that real quick.
It is Kick Him Cosplay.
And before we actually go back to the main topic, how's the cosplay season doing for you?
Right now it's kind of stressful. I really challenged myself. I'm doing 5 costumes.
You doing that for Emerald City?
Emerald City and Sakura Con. So
Nice. I'm
currently working on Saber from Fate's Stay, and my claymore is ginormous.
Ginormous.
It's
like
it's a 4.5 foot sword, 4.5 foot long sword, and it started off as we're shaping it right now. My brother is like, dude, this is like a cloud sword.
So if I'm not mistaken, I think we talked about this. You're also doing I don't know if you're doing for Comic Con, but you're doing Junkrat.
Yeah, I'm doing Jester Junkrat, and for whatever reason I really like oversized props. So my tire is like 3.5 feet, and yeah, my rip tire is huge. It covers my entire back, and I'm really excited about all of the stuff I'm working on. Stormy Weather from Miraculous Ladybug. I'm doing Cuphead because that game is phenomenal.
It is so good.
I haven't played it yet because I don't have an Xbox.
You can get it on your
Yeah,
laptop.
you know of Overwatch. You don't know Overwatch very well at all.
Not really, no.
Yeah. Anyways, back to what we were talking about. Good luck with that in the future.
Thank
As Justin pours another brewski.
Smooth drink.
That was really weird with this on.
And if anyone by any chance ever spots us at a con, please say hi because then I win a bet with Justin.
Hey, we shared the story, but me and him have been noticed for stuff we've done on YouTube.
We've been noticed for our short film content.
I haven't
very
been
cool.
noticed for nothing.
I was in a McDonald's
Maybe we should be
drive-thru.
better Sherlock.
Oh! Burn.
That's savage because that's something I
How's
did.
that script coming,
You may
Chris?
smack my hand.
Oh.
Maybe you should make better short
Okay, girls.
films.
Okay, girls. Calm down.
Wait, you said maybe you should make better short films? Chris, did you say maybe you should make better short films?
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, I thought you did because I was like, I'm the one who made them.
I didn't say anything like that.
No, I was gonna say because I've been identified. Chris was identified in a Rite Aid. I was identified in a McDonald's drive-thru. I was really tired. It was the morning. I was just trying to get my
we said the
breakfast
story on the show
muffin and
before, so if
leave.
you're gonna say it again quickly.
Yep, breakfast muffin and leave. And this dude was like in the McDonald's drive-thru and he saw me. He's like, "You're the dude in Holmes University." And I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
I wonder when I'll get my shining moment.
You'll probably get it before me, Sam.
Justin, I will pay someone so they can notice you.
That doesn't mean anything.
You don't
That's
have to
like getting a participation trophy that says "Oops" on it, which I have.
Oh my gosh, that sounds
It
amazing.
really hurt my hand when you smacked it.
Because I was in a bowling league, I got a participation trophy because I suck, and it said "Oops" on it. I'm like, I'd rather not get nothing at all.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I was
That's-
like 6.
That's
yeah,
amazing.
exactly." Teaching
That's
us that
amazing.
not everyone should get a trophy.
I was mad as
Anyways,
hell.
back to the main topic. That's our whatever. Worst movies of 2017. Anyone got anything on the top of their head?
Scott, I know you want to go so badly.
Let me refresh what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be movies that just came out. It could be movies you just discovered. Maybe.
Well, Godzilla the anime from Netflix, Planet of the Monsters, came out at 2018, not 2017. But that is a pile of.
We're talking about 2017. Keep it to yourself.
Okay,
I would say talk about
so-
2017, Scott.
So
Watch
I
Scott's
hated
thoughts. Plug Scott's thoughts.
Scott's Thoughts, my review channel. You can see all my thoughts. But anyways,
Is it bad that I just want
I
to be a troll and be like, oh yeah, Blade Runner? This terrible movie.
I hate you.
First off, I hated Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
You're not a Star Wars fan.
But-
Doesn't count. Pick something else.
Okay.
Wow.
Actually,
We've had this discussion before.
Plenty of times.
let's see.
I
here.
know you got something better than Star Wars, sir, which is exactly why I moved
But we'll
on
come back
from
to
it.
you, Justin.
Yeah.
Worst movie I saw this year? Oh, hell, I don't know.
Again, it doesn't have to be movie that just came out.
I guess maybe not a movie that I necessarily hated or didn't like or thought was awful, but I thought was like stupidly overrated. Was Get Out.
Thank you. That movie was
I
not
like-
good.
That's the one about the guy that goes to meet his girlfriend's family,
Yeah, it's
and they
that
have
one.
they like wash him.
Okay. Yeah,
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just from the trailer. If you've watched the trailer,
Yeah, if you
know
watch trailer,
that-
you know, but there's like a big twist of what's really happening. And my issue isn't the movie itself; it's the fact that everyone thought it's this great masterpiece of filmmaking, and it really isn't. In fact, it reminded me of some of like the horror movies from the past because the concept is not original. This is not an original concept. It is just applied to a black guy meeting rich white people. And I think people are so lost on the politicalness of it
right.
that they don't see anything else. And as a movie goes, it's okay. Like, I don't hate it. I just don't think it's as great as everyone says it is.
If we're gonna go on overrated to hell, I have to establish Wonder Woman.
No,
Wow.
no,
Wonder Woman
no,
was
no.
okay. I'm in the minority, I guess.
You
Well,
ver-
me.
I'm
My swore.
gonna drink some more.
Okay, I thought Wonder Woman
You're
was
wrong.
a perfectly
You're wrong.
fine movie that just happened to be about an hour too long.
Go, Sam.
My thing is that they made Wonder Woman a character that was both feminine and strong without making either one of those things so pressing that you had to acknowledge it. You know, like
Sure,
she was
absolutely.
those characteristics on her own merit.
I
There was
agree.
the fact that they built the world. I think Wonder Woman was one of the first DC movies that was a hero movie that didn't feel super long.
Right.
You know, because they
I
have an
disagree
issue.
there.
They have an issue with pacing.
Yeah.
In DC movies, and Wonder Woman didn't feel super long. It did. I would say that they probably could have cut out about 15 to 20 minutes.
That whole plot where they go to the ballroom area, to me, was entirely pointless because it made the whole entire past 25 to 30 minutes irrelevant. That was my issue. It negated itself, and then it made itself too long by like an hour.
Yeah, I would say honestly they could have cut out 20 minutes, but DC is finally getting to the place where, as a franchise, they're finally figuring out their pacing. But it took them, 5 movies to get there?
I agree. I'm not telling you it's a bad movie. I'm just telling you it's people calling it like the greatest superhero movie since The Dark Knight because Wonder Woman's in it is an overstatement by a
seen that
large
statement.
amount. People have
Yeah, I
hyped
haven't
this
seen that
movie up.
statement.
It's got a 99.
You'd actually be surprised how often that comes up because I like Wonder Woman too, and people are trying to get it like they're trying to do a campaign to get nominated for Oscars and stuff.
Yeah.
And I like the movie. It's not Oscar worthy.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean,
people
Gal
have hyped
Gadot
it.
is, but you know.
People have hyped it for people have hyped it for Oscars and stuff, and I'm like, no. I walked out of the film when it first came out, and I said, yes, that's an okay movie. Like it's not bad. It's decent. But the fact that then all of a sudden I was like, let's see what everybody else is thinking, and people are like Gal Gadot for Best Actress, or this needs to be Best Picture, Best Screenplay, and I'm like, really?
If there's a category for most improved, I would say Gal Gadot over the past few years. For sure.
Yeah, for
as her
sure, for
career,
sure. Yeah.
her career's improved
Yes.
significantly.
But continue.
Well, and she's cool as Wonder Woman.
Oh,
Like I'm not gonna crap on her for that. But then if we want to talk about worst movies of 2017, I'm not saying it's bad like Monster Trucks
Well, but that's the topic we're talking about. So why'd you bring it up?
because he brought
Monster
up
Trucks
overrated
that-
movies.
We're not
Wait,
talking
Monster
about
Trucks?
Well,
The movie Monster Trucks where
where
the like
they're
squid
okay.
there's
people,
like a little
Okay,
monster
yeah.
in the actual
Yeah,
truck,
okay.
and like, hey, that's funny.
Lego Ninjago.
I didn't see that.
I think one of the most
yeah.
disappointing films that I've seen, and you categorize it as worst too, is the Cars 3. I thought that was a huge.
Cars 3 was
Yeah.
Cars is a waste of life in general.
Oh,
the
I
fact.
Don't
I
know.
like the first Cars movie.
The first one was really fun, and there
I
were
like
so
the
many
first
questions.
one.
Okay. Let me explain myself here because let's see. We got Cars, which is just a ripoff of Doc Hollywood, which is a movie made back in like the '80s with
Sure.
Michael J.
I know what
Fox.
you're talking about,
Fine, but then they made Cars 2.
Okay, we're
Which
not
wa-
talking about.
You're not. I'm not done. Which wasn't great.
All his
Then they
Pixar
made
issues.
Planes. Then they made Planes 2, and yet I'm only
Planes too.
well, they made like Planes Fire and Rescue as like a sequel, and yet
okay.
it took me 10 years to get Incredibles 2.
Yeah, that's,
Nah, y'all can bite me. And then they made Cars 3.
It was more than 10 years for Incredibles 2.
You know what I mean? Then.
It's like 12 years.
coming out. Just relax. It's coming out, Justin.
Oh, finally, after we made like
Oh, you mean the
15
best
bloody
Fantastic-
Cars movies and planes that no one gave a about.
Nice.
I didn't even want a Monsters Inc. 2 or whatever we got.
That was a
sequel.
that was a
wasn't-
prequel.
I was looking forward to that sequel, and it's a freaking prequel when you were in college.
As prequel goes, it wasn't bad, but nobody wanted it.
exactly.
I think Pixar definitely has this thing about, they kind of sit there,
the
with their hands going, heh, 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 all these unanswered questions. We're not going to solve any
Exactly.
of
It's,
them.
Right?
it's the classic Disney sequel mess that they always
Yeah.
produce since the 1990s. With
Yeah.
Aladdin 2 and Aladdin 3.
I liked Aladdin 2 and 3. Those are my favorite
What,
out of the
Jafar
Disney line.
Returns or whatever
Return
it
of
is?
Jafar, and then the Prince of the Thieves one, where
Yeah, that-
meets his dad and
I do
everything.
like the song, though.
Yeah.
And Robin Williams comes back in the third one as the
Whoa.
genie.
Yeah.
It was good stuff.
That's true. He was in the second one?
He was not in the second one.
No, it was a impersonator.
It was really close though.
I never noticed as a
Right?
kid.
Yeah.
But is there any movies that we actually like completely hated? I mean, because back to overrated. Because you and I have gone back
I
and forth
hated
about
monster trucks.
you and I gone back and forth about Thor Ragnarok.
I hate. Oh yes, my worst movie of the year
I had to
is
remind
Thor
him
Ragnarok.
of that. I had to remind him of that,
It
y'all.
literally, yes, because I forgot, because I tried to forget about the movie by drowning myself in alcohol and not women.
Let me say my 2 cents and you can continue. I just recently saw it in the past couple weeks. Not what I was expecting. I didn't like it. I'm leaning towards hate just a little bit because it went in a completely different direction that I wasn't okay with. Yeah, continue.
My issue with the movie, my big issue with the movie, because the movie, actually, I'm just going to talk about my issues. My big issue with the movie is that we couldn't go 5 minutes into the damn movie.
Without having a stupid CGI green screen of everything.
I was going to say without having a bunch of jokes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that too.
Like we couldn't, and don't interrupt me again. It's just in the first 5 minutes we get like 20 jokes and we get no substance. It's just like ha ha ha, we're funny. Ha, ha, ha.
Spoilers for Thor Ragnarok. They killed off everyone.
Except for
basically.
Lady Sif because of contractual
Yeah, well,
obligations.
yeah.
I'm gonna say Lady Sif wasn't even in the damn movie.
Yeah, because of contractual obligations.
Well,
Thank
so I mean,
God.
my issue with Thor Ragnarok is the fact that it's supposed to go into the mystery series. It's supposed to jump into Loki's journey as like it didn't set it up for the next scenes. The next things that are
Is there
supposed
going to
to
be
come.
a Thor sequel?
Probably.
Probably, but see, the whole thing is that the next series is supposed to be about Loki, and I don't see how they're going to do that.
Well, it's going to tie more into Infinity War
gonna
than
say,
it is going to be in the next
yeah.
stage of Thor movies. So it's probably maybe that's when they're going to set up. I really don't.
I don't know, but I don't
I'm
know
just
how they're
speculating.
gonna. I don't know how they're gonna do that with what they did in Ragnarok.
That is fair.
So because Journey into Mysteries has Loki turning into a woman, turning into a horse,
Hello. Oh, what?
having baby. Like it goes
Yeah, I
actually
was
into the
gonna
Norse.
say.
It goes into the Norse
Chris has
mythology.
issues.
But so yeah, no. For underrated movies, though, I finally watched the Power Rangers movie,
Yes, that's so good.
Good.
and
Wait,
I was
are we,
like,
are we talking about the newest one? Or-
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, the newest one is like really good.
With my celebrity wife Becky G.
my whole thing
Yellow
is
Ranger.
that like everyone hated it, and I was like, I don't understand why everyone's opinion is so negative. It's
Right?
so cute.
It's
And they're not doing a
fun.
sequel?
No,
No.
they canceled it because it didn't make enough money.
But they're actually still rumblings of bringing a possible sequel. But you know how those go on the internet.
Because
they
I
have
have to
to wait
establish that
Right.
what I voiced on the podcast was right, that nostalgia doesn't sell as much as people claim.
But so I mean, for me, the film that I watched last year that was the worst was Valerian and the
pretty bad.
Thousand Planets or whatever, and that was mostly because there was no substance. There
is
was no
pretty.
closure. The characters didn't grow. None of them changed. None of them were challenged.
All right.
But I thank you for bringing up Power Rangers, because that was one of those ones that like I went in expecting to absolutely hate it, roast that movie. I was like, oh, here we come, Valerian status kind of thing. It's
Yeah.
going to be terrible, and I really liked it.
Yeah.
Scott, I'm going to divert your attention to that question. We'll come back to that in just a minute.
Okay.
Justin, don't read that.
Okay.
It's politics.
Politics.
Ooh, no.
Let's go into TV shows. We'll go we'll just list best and worst at the same time because we're running out of time here.
I'll start since Scott's going to take the most time.
Okay, go for it.
So the
You talk too much, Scott. What do you got?
so the show that I watched that I was the most surprised by was the Castlevania show that Netflix started.
Oh yeah.
I
get
was
to watch
actually
that,
really
I know.
pleasantly surprised. I'm really excited for where they're going with that. I hope it gets like
They confirmed 8 episodes for this
I
coming
am
season.
so excited. I think it was very good. The show series that I stopped watching would be Voltron. It just felt
Really?
like it felt like it just went into this whole we're gonna appease the fans. I don't know if you've ever watched like Teen Wolf. Teen Wolf was great the first
We're talking the MTV Teen Wolf. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Michael
It was
J.
super
Fox.
cheesy. It was hilarious. But then they got a really intense fan following. And from that series, like from the first season on, they started doing things that the fans liked or predicted, just to kind of keep the fans. And the series kind of fell apart. And I felt like that's what's going on with Voltron right now. I really think that the writers just need to get back to what they were trying to go for.
Justin.
Like my favorite show of 2017.
Yeah.
If I had to choose a particular show, I definitely was very happy with the Netflix Punisher show.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Because I've been a big fan of the Punisher since I was a kid. The Thomas Jane Punisher for a long time. For miscellaneous reasons, I didn't have a lot of access to movies or even TV. So all I did was play video games and watch movies. And one of the movies I had was The Punisher with Thomas Jane, and the video game for the PlayStation 2. And
I know that game.
I used to play
I know
that,
that game.
and watch that movie all
It's
the time.
violent.
So, right? And it was just kind of my whole world. And now that we finally got a Punisher, and it gave us a
proper Punisher.
much
Yeah.
bigger depth to Frank Castle than
absolutely.
because I go to a comic book store and people were like, "Oh, Frank Castle, he's just kind of a sheeted character. There's not a depth to the character." And this show gave him more depth than I'm angry and I'm going to kill everybody.
I hear you.
So that's one thing I really enjoyed. But I will say, on a side note, that this season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is actually surprisingly good. Like every other season, shut up, Scott. Every other season's really good. Every other season's, it's all right. But this season, they kind of flipped the script and decided to do something different. They got transported into the future, and Earth's completely blown up and everything. Spoilers, and I guess these guys are supposed to apparently there's a prophecy that the agents and Phil Coulson are supposed to figure out what happened and save everyone because they're all being ruled by the Kree, the big blue guys in the Marvel Universe, like Ronan the Accuser in Guardians of the Galaxy. Like his race of people are ruling over of what's left of humanity. And I just think it's really interesting. And then you got twists and turns, and it's usually you can kind of predict what's kind of coming next. You got a general idea, but you really don't know what's happening, especially since it's going to lead, all these Marvel stuff's going to lead into Infinity War coming out in a couple of months. And it's just really interesting. And it's nice to that, oh, this show can't last much longer. And then they do this, and you're like, you know what? Maybe they got some tricks up their sleeve. That's all I'm saying.
And real quick, your worst
Worst?
that you just turned on and just couldn't stand it. Turned it off. Or something you stopped watching, maybe? A season
There
or
was one show. I honestly can't think of it because I blocked it so far out of my head.
When you come back to you?
Yeah, probably.
All right, Scott. best and worst. Make it
TV
quick.
show.
Make it quick.
Okay. I get it. Best TV show of the year for me was the criminal thriller show Mindhunter. Mindhunter was spectacular. It was the Netflix original show about how it was a kind of genesis of the behavioral analysis unit, because at the time psychology of criminals was a taboo subject, and it was kind of about the first guy who was like, no.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking. I haven't watched that show
I don't
yet.
know
It's
that, but continue.
spectacular. It's easily my favorite show of the year. Incredible. I mean, it's award worthy of the fact that
What's it called again?
Mindhunter. Really just, and then watching him, they actually have real conversations recorded, and they got it super accurate. David Fincher directed it. And it's about him sitting down with serial killers, talking to them, trying to get into their mind. It blew me away. And then underrated shows, there's some people who hate the show, and if they hate the show, they can fight me because I will argue it back. The show The Mist, based on the Stephen King book, that show was actually good, and it's criminal that show got canceled after one season because they took the show, because Stephen King's The Mist, the book, was all about, it was just a straight up monster story. But what they said is, what if The Mist was psychological and it got into your brain? about what your nightmares are, and what if it's that kind of like imagine a boggart from Harry Potter just in a mist out there.
Yeah, my husband really enjoyed that. So what was the worst one for you?
The worst one for me, well, that's where he and I disagree. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I hated that piece of crap.
I'm going to say there's another show you have in mind other than Agents of because you don't actually watch that show. So what else you got?
Yeah, that's true.
I do watch. Well, I mean, I off and on watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I just hate the show because I started tuning in with Robbie Reyes.
Yeah,
I
but-
love
Okay,
Reyes'
okay. So
Ghost Rider.
what's the worst show that you watch that
In
you can't watch anymore?
2017.
In 2017, I actually don't know of.
All right, we're
like,
moving
the
on
worst.
then.
But yeah, I was gonna say move on because I
All right,
might
so let me
come back
list my
to
favorite
it.
because we're running out of time here. Favorite show I discussed this with you was the Manhunt Unabomber series.
I have the worst now, so you can go.
Which I thought was probably some of the best.
Manhunt Unabomber's great. By
Yes,
the way.
thank you. I thought you were just like
No. I love Manhunt Unabomber.
Beat your opinions.
That and Mindhunter are like.
I thought
neck and
because
neck.
we were all kids when that stuff
Yeah.
happened with the Unabomber, and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
guy was like a not criminally. He was just a genius who had a really dark past, and I don't want to spoil anything. It's fact, fiction. You just look it up. But anyways, not fact, fiction, whatever.
Just it's fascinating watching how they found him.
Right.
But so what was your worst?
Worst I had to say was I'm gonna be cheap here and say The Bachelor.
Are they
I actually
wait,
watched
I-
that.
I
I was
don't-
like, that's still on. Is that still on?
I
There-
actually
there's
watched The
this-
Bachelor. I actually watched The Bachelor.
There's so many things where I'm like, how is that still existing? How are you still finding
how-
people that want to do that? Like Survivor, how is that still a thing?
It's still going.
Unfortunately.
Okay, I do have to say though,
Continue,
my
30 seconds,
worst.
30 seconds.
Okay, 30 seconds. My worst is actually Taken the TV show. Taken the TV.
Yes.
I am
Okay.
a
That got
lover of the
greenlit
Taken
for a season
movies.
2.
I know it depresses me. I am a lover of the Taken movies because they're great. They're like the perfect action escape movies
Anything
to
Liam
me.
Neeson he loves, no matter.
I
what.
love Liam Neeson, so I love
This is
watching
true.
him.
Well, but there's also the fact that like the Taken movies are based on things that are actually going on in the real world.
They
true.
are. Like, even
That's
the
true.
sequels are based on
Yeah.
things that actually happen. And I love that. And then Taken the TV show, I'm like, okay, Taken every week? Sure. Then I sit down to watch Taken the TV show. It's so terrible. It's like the CW, and they don't respect any of the material. It's like the acting is so hammy. It's maddening. They don't
All right,
respect
wrap it up,
Nothing
wrap it
is
up,
based
wrap it
on
up.
anything. I'm just saying, it's a waste of time,
Scott
piece
hits
of
Taken
garbage.
TV show. All right, we're out of time. We're gonna cut this into 2 parts, so stick around for part 2. Everybody, thank you for joining us, Scott, Justin, and Sam. Make sure you check out Meteor Fist Films, Scott's Thoughts, Homes University 5 coming up pretty soon. Hopefully there'll be a trailer within the next couple, who knows how many weeks here. And
One of these
Sam,
days.
Eventually.
I'm gonna spell it out: KYCKEHYMN cosplay, which stands for
Kick him cosplay.
Kick him.
Instagram. All right, everyone. We'll see you in part 2. Thank you. Have a good night. See you guys next time.
Viva la dose.
Bye.